Breaking news on 41 Action News starts now.
We begin with breaking news tonight as coronavirus concern is now closing a local school.
Today, the Barstow School sent parents a letter stating the school will be closed tomorrow and Friday and all activities will be canceled. Now, the school stated in this letter it's taking action out of an abundance of caution because a person related to one of their faculty members is currently being tested after possible exposure to coronavirus. School leaders say the person has not visited the campus. No staff member has shown any symptoms either. Again, this was all done out of an abundance of caution. But we want to set the record straight about a fake Facebook post, and this post states that KCPS is now closed tomorrow because of the coronavirus. That is not true. We talked with Kansas City public school leaders today, and they said if anything happens, an email will go out to staff members and to families. All of this comes as coronavirus concerns shakes up the sports world, from the NBA suspending its season to fans not being able to attend Big 12 games starting tomorrow. Fan Fest already shut down at Power and Light. No pep rallies, no cheerleaders. We have live team coverage tonight as fans are left wondering exactly what to do.
First, in a story you'll only see on 41 Action News, the city is facing a potential loss of millions of dollars.
It was heartbreaking. It was a tough day.
Thousands of fans and millions of dollars all impacted by coronavirus concerns.
I mean, it's a global concern, right? It's not just a Kansas City concern. It's definitely not a basketball concern. This is a global concern, so that's why the impact feels so heavy.
The Kansas City Sports Commission tells us the NCAA and the Big 12 have to consider a range of factors.
It's not just the basketball players. It's the cheerleaders. It's the band members. It's the parents of these kids. But you have to think first and foremost about every single person that steps into that venue, whether they are an athlete, if they're working in the concession stand, if they're a fan, what could happen, and that's what we're working to eliminate.
Recognizing that a global pandemic like this impacting March Madness is unprecedented.
This one might just be the craziest thing I've ever seen in my adult life dealing with sports.
And the effects may just be beginning.
Oh my gosh, this is going to impact for the next decade.
Again, Fan Fest is canceled at the KC Live block in Power and Light, but it'll still be open for normal business, and they will be showing the games.
We want to get out to our sports anchor, Haley Lewis. She's live now. Haley, this is a pretty big deal for players not to have fans in the stands.
That's right. We were all excited for March Madness, but it's quickly turned into March Sadness, or that's the hashtag that's being used right now on Twitter after the NCAA advised all of the tournaments to stop having fans attend. Quickly after that, maybe an hour or two, is when the Big 12 Conference actually made that announcement saying that after Wednesday night, no more fans would be allowed to attend the tournament. Now, for the #1 overall team in the country, that announcement came as a blow.
You know, it sucks. But it doesn't just stink for us.
This situation is definitely bigger than basketball. It's more about health and well-being, things like that, which we understand.
It's, sad, and it's sad for the fans. It's sad for players because, you dream of playing in a situation where you're playing for the highest stakes on the brightest stage.
Knowing the decision's effect on the game environment, the Big 12 said it's a hard call made by the entire committee.
I had to kind of make the decision on this evening, but the decision on the rest of the tournament was made by our board of directors.
So fans were able to attend Wednesday night's first-round games, but from here on out, we'll be watching elsewhere.
I'm sure the games will still be highly, highly, highly competitive. It'll be different. It'll have a different feel. This is life. I mean, there's a bigger reason than us on why this is actually happening.
Kansas plans to focus on the main reason they're here instead of the unfortunate circumstances.
I think maturity and playing for the love of the game would be the things that I think that we should try to talk about and try to control as much as anything.
You shoot, in empty gyms your whole life, so I think it's going to be pretty normal.
And Bill Self spoke with his players just minutes after they found out that fans were not going to be allowed to watch their games, and told them to remember why they love this game, why they started playing. It wasn't to show off. It wasn't to be rowdy in front of fans. It was because they love this sport. And like Christian Braun was saying at the end there, they've been shooting alone all their life. They're focused and they're ready to go all the way this year. Live at Sprint Center, Haley Lewis, 41 Action News.
Safety priority #1, Haley, thank you. We now turn to 41 Action reporter Andres Gutierrez. He talked with some of the fans tonight, and he's also live. Andres, what do they have to say?
Well, Kevin, word of that announcement spread quick amongst fans outside the Big 12 experience outside Sprint Center, and a lot of them were not happy about it.
There's a lot of people who came from far away to be here for this, and It'll be a real bummer.
We drove, but there are people on planes, and it'll kill the economy.
Iowa State fan Stacy Kenzie and her husband Lance shelled out big bucks to spend the week in Kansas City watching the Big 12 games.
Our tickets are $600, and then our room, that's another $300 a night, so that's 4 nights, that's $1,200, so that's a couple $1,000.
They were among the lucky fans who got to watch their team take the court at the Sprint Center tonight, but come tomorrow with the limited access in place, the Kenzies and other fans will have to catch the rest of the games elsewhere.
I think there's a little bit too much hype, and I think that the unfortunate part is once these things start, you can't stop it. I'm not belittling the situation, but at the end of the day, cooler heads have to prevail, and it's like anything. You can talk yourself into something, and I think we're doing it.
They're just following suit what everyone else is doing, but, obviously people's safety is number one, but it's just hard to believe.
Some fans are worried how this move will impact some of the team's outcomes.
It's going to be definitely different. I've never watched a March Madness in my life without the excitement of the fans, and I think it's going to definitely take out a lot of those Cinderella teams because, they get better and they win those games because of the fans rooting for them.
And now fans do buy tickets for those Big 12 games from a number of vendors, but tonight we learned that those who bought it directly from the Sprint Center, they will be able to get refunds starting tomorrow. Now, my colleague Gabriela Pagan also found some fans today. Gabby, what did they tell you?
Anders, I found fans who came from all over the country to come here and see their teams in action, but now that they can't, many of them are choosing to find the silver lining.
Threw me all off with that one today.
That being the Big 12 Conference announcing fans will not be allowed to attend any tournament games in Kansas City beginning tomorrow.
But, I got my tickets for tonight, so I'm ready.
Local fans like Clarence James, who comes to Power and Light from just up the street, or Austin Van Alst, who drove from Topeka, lucked out.
If I have to, we can just drive back, we have to, but it's nothing too big. It's not like we came from across the country or anything.
Oh, but countless others did.
Where do you go from here, though? Do you stay in town? Did you come from out of town?
I did. I flew in from Portland, Oregon.
First to Denver, and then driving from there to Kansas City because it was cheaper.
But, I also had tickets for Game 4 of the Royals with ALDS in 2014. I flew all the way here, and then there was no Game 4. So I guess I'm used to it. I think I'm a curse. I think it's me, actually. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Taking the silver lining approach, he says he's not upset.
I guess I'm going to get a lot of Kansas scenery in the meantime. So that's all right. Headed to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. The Power and Light's beautiful, so it's still a vacation either way, right?
I get that it's maybe a public safety issue, but I know a lot of people drove down for this. A lot of people bought tickets, so money's going to be lost somewhere.
So where do the fans go from here? Because ultimately it's up to you.
I'd say right over here, Power and Light District. Just keep it going.
So you're not leaving?
No, I'll be here.
Yeah, I'm going to still spend my money.
Now, guys, there are not a lot of fans down here tonight as today's news shocked a lot of people. The audio you hear in the background is the last game that will be played here tonight for the rest of the night. That is K-State and TCU. Dia, back to you.
All right, Gabriella, thanks for that report tonight. Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas and the Health Department released a joint statement supporting the Big 12's decision, saying they look forward to welcoming the teams to Kansas City. They do plan to hold a press conference tomorrow.
I'm joined now by our sports director, Mick Schaefer. Mick, this has just really been a snowball effect.
It has been a snowball effect the last 2 days here. You had mostly media limitations put in place yesterday around these tournaments, but then today more and more tournaments decided to close their games to the public. And the more tournaments that did, the quicker the others followed. Baylor and Kansas, the top 2 seeds, you see shooting around today at Sprint Center in an atmosphere that will be very similar to their games tomorrow. No fans there. You see them, none in the background. Commissioner Bob Bowlesby said the league didn't take lightly having to exclude those fans.
It's kind of a collaborative process, but there's no manual for how you make these things, and so I have to admit our hearts are heavy tonight. This is a great event, and we don't want to follow it up.
It is maybe the best conference tournament in the land. So the SEC tournament has done the same thing. Started tonight with fans. We'll finish the tournament starting tomorrow with spectators on into the weekend. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said, quote, "We regret the inconvenience and disappointment this decision has caused our fans, especially those who have traveled already to Nashville." Mizzou plays Texas A&M tomorrow. Dia.
All right, Mick, thanks. Schools are also canceling classes on campus, moving them online. 41 Action News reporter Ariel Rothfield joins us with that story.
Dia, while there are no known exposures, some of the region's biggest universities will be holding classes remotely, including the University of Kansas, delaying in-person classes until March 23rd. The University of Missouri's Columbia campus also announced classes will be suspended through Sunday and move online until students return from spring break. In the meantime, all non-essential university events will be canceled until March 29th. The decision prompted by some students and faculty members potentially being exposed to the virus at a conference in New Orleans. Kansas City University, the medical school in Northeast Kansas City, is currently on spring break, but students will not return to campus next week. Instead, the medical school will move lectures online for the next 2 weeks.
And like students at other institutions, they're traveling over spring break. And so whether they're in a hot spot, so to speak, or traveling through, some of the best practices would be then self-monitoring at home to monitor their own health. And so to take this time and transition our curriculum to an online environment allows that to happen.
Truman State is also suspending in-person classes next week. Dia and Kevin, it is important to note at this time there are no known cases at any of these universities. Of course, we are keeping an eye on other schools as well, and we'll constantly keep you updated. Live from the newsroom, Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.
The spread of coronavirus prompted travel restrictions and economic relief from the president tonight. All travel from Europe has been banned for 30 days, except from the UK. Also, tax payments will be deferred 3 months for those impacted by the virus. And the president is requesting Congress to allow immediate payroll tax relief.
For the latest, tune in to Coronavirus, The Facts. You can catch that this Friday at 6:30 right here on 41 Action News.
Good evening, everyone. It has been a nice evening weather-wise here in Kansas City. 48 degrees in Lawrence, 55 still in Lee Summit. Feels pretty good, doesn't it, outside? Oh, my. Saturday, snow or a cold rain or a mixture? That is the question. We'll have these answers coming up.
Supporters calling for an end to bans on specific dog breeds. Where the issue stands in the Missouri House next.
A product for infants is connected to more fatalities. What you need to know about incline sleepers before you buy one.
A consumer alert tonight, more infant deaths linked to inclined sleepers. Consumer Reports found 19 more deaths linked to the Fisher-Price Rock and Play sleeper. The sleepers position babies at an angle that can make it easy for their heads to slump, cutting off their airway. Lawmakers have proposed banning all inclined sleepers, but for now they remain on the market.
Today, supporters rallied in Jefferson City in hopes lawmakers would end bans on specific dog breeds. Wayside Waifs sent us these pictures of supporters. A lawmaker is pushing to ban breed-specific legislation like pit bull bans, for example. Both proposals dealing with this issue passed the House. It's now in the hands of the Senate.
Now, here's Kansas City's most accurate forecast from Chief Meteorologist Gary Lezak.
Good evening. Oh, my, what a weather pattern we are in for. And tomorrow there's a chance of a thunderstorm or rain about 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. A 60% chance. I'm expecting a few showers and maybe thunderstorms around. 50 degrees right now. It's a mild night. And the dew point's up to 43. That gives us a humidity of 77%, south wind at 9 miles per hour. It's been quite a roller coaster ride from 0 degrees on Valentine's Day, then up to 63, and then back down to 20, up to 71 on Sunday, down to 30, and then back up to 66 today. And tomorrow those thunderstorms are possible. A little wave of energy is going to come across us about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we should be having a decent day. And then moisture streaming in from the south around a really weird, strange storm system off the west coast. It's not a powerful storm. It just happens to have a lot of moisture with it. So as we've been telling you all week long, there's a 100% chance of rain or snow on Saturday. The snow will depend on a cold front coming through. But first of all, tomorrow, there's a band of showers and a few thunderstorms that do come across early tomorrow morning. By midday, they're out of here. The winds shift to the north. How strong this cold front is important. As the colder and drier air moves in Thursday night and Friday, then that moisture comes in from the southwest. If the front's a little stronger, we will have a snowstorm in Kansas City. If it's a little weaker, it'll be a cold rain somewhere between Overland Park and the Iowa border is likely going to have possibly up to a ½ foot of snow or more out of this storm. Where exactly will that be? This data shows rain beginning Friday night in the big town with snow to the west as we get into Friday night. And early Saturday, it does change to snow from around Overland Park northward with sleet and then rain, a cold rain farther south near Pleasanton and Clinton. If it's slightly farther north, I think that might be the case. Then we would just have a cold rain. But either way, a wet storm is heading this way, and it snows a lot. This is the latest accumulation forecast. So St. Joseph to Chillicothe in the access that could have some of that significant snow with Kansas City right on the edge. Wow. All right, we should be able to sort that out here in the next couple of days. 67 tomorrow after the chance of rain and thunderstorms in the morning, and then the wind will shift to the northwest by late in the day as that colder air moves in. 51 degrees on Friday. Saturday, 38, rain south, snow north. And in our 7-day forecast, another storm is due in next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with 40s and 50s with a chance of a cold rain.
No more games with fans, at least in the Big 12 tournament or many of the conference tournaments.
That's right. Look, we have high school basketball tournaments still going on for now. We have highlights of those. Also coming up, reaction from the team who gets to play KU in KC, but without the Jayhawk faithful in attendance.
We need to get back to our, our roots, our child roots, in which, you got turned up to play if you're playing shirts and skins in the park.
Well, basically what it'll be the rest of the way at Sprint Center here, where games will be played without fans. You've heard that. Same decision made in Nashville. SEC tournament not open to the public. And, of course, the NCAA tournament announcing 2. Game on for now, but no fans. Same deal at Municipal Auditorium. Women's Big 12 and men's NAIA tournaments all fanless the next couple of weeks. Back to Sprint Center now and the men's Big 12. About as normal as it was going to get tonight. You had fans and 2 games, like usual tonight, K-State and TCU. All Cats in the first half. Cartier-Jada does this thing where he doesn't even need to look at the rim. Yeah, and it goes in. 13-2 K-State. Later it's Levi Stockard. Yes, a Levi Stockard sighting. He makes it 25-8 K-State. Second half, Xavier Sneed with the top of the key 3. Cats up by 13 at that point, but TCU has roared back. Close game going on still at Sprint Center. Wild finish to the 8-9 game. Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Cowboys up 1, 15 seconds left. Terrence Lewis crossing over dudes to the floor. The flush with 8 seconds left. Iowa State with the lead, but hold on. There goes Isaac Likely, coast to coast. Cowboys back on top. Cyclones wouldn't get a shot off. Oklahoma State and KU tomorrow in an empty gym.
I don't really know. I don't have a great answer for you in terms of how do I make an adjustment. We'll kind of all be playing it by ear tomorrow once the game tips and we kind of look around and we don't have that noise and maybe the environment isn't as great.
SEC tournament continues tomorrow. Mizzou and Texas A&M again in front of only 250 people, 125 on each side. Tip at 6. WAC tournament, one of several conference tournaments in Las Vegas, went on as scheduled with fans. The Kansas City women are the #1 seed in it, too. Had little trouble with Chicago State today. That's Player of the Year, Erica Mattingly, for 3. Things going so well that Emily Ivory was getting that noise to go. Ruse on to the semis on Friday. High school hoops, we begin in Emporia. 5A boys, Blue Valley Southwest, and undefeated Andover. Late in the game, Jack Johnson to Caleb Gaddis for 3. Andover up 5, less than 2 left, seconds left. David Kim at the buzzer, but they were down 4. Just that close, not quite, for Blue Valley Southwest as Andover edges them. All right, DeSoto with both teams at state and Emporia. Boys drew Capon in this game. That's Capon, Will Ancio, taken up for 2 over the outstretched arms of Nathan Barnard. So Barnard outstretches his own arms on offense. Skyhook for 2. Capon too much in this one. They move on to the semis. Kansas 6A girls in Wichita. Shawnee Mission Northwest drawing Derby. Got to be resilient in the state tournament. So that's Kennedy Taylor on the rebound and the putback. Tight game. Sydney Nils doing her own dirty work down low. This thing went to 2 overtimes and Derby pulls it out. And the late game for the Birds. Olate the East Hawks, Wichita Heights Falcons. We're kicking it outside to Savannah Perez. Triple. Olate the East looking good early. Back the other way. We're going to go with Kiana Stanley. Good left-hand drive and layup. We're all about the fundamentals. 49-48, Olathe East gets win. Missouri hoops, they're just at the sectional level, fashionably late. Lee Summit West and Blue Springs, Class 5 girls late in the game. Marissa Ritchie bodying up, hooping the harm. 56-53, West down just 3. Later, though, it's Blue Springs in transition. Jayla Sample to Kayla Jenkins for the layup. Blue Springs moves on to the next round, winning 68-58. After that, Blue Springs boys took on Ray Peck. Jordan Germain gets things started here, driving the lane. Hashtag Hy-Vee Athlete of the Week last week. Wildcats answer. Michael Harrison. 3 is more than 2. Blue Springs up early. Then Kean Scroggins, hashtag another Athlete of the Week last week. He's reversing on all of us. Ray Peck gets the narrow win. Sporting KC, and after 15 years in MLS, Benny Feilhaber is retiring. Benny scored 56 goals in over 400 professional matches, won an MLS Cup and 2 U.S. Open Cups as well. Sporting's 4th match of the season was supposed to be at San Jose. Not anymore. Match postponed. A lot of those stories come up the rest of the week. We're back with more after this.
More rain's coming.
Rain tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock, a chance of a thunderstorm even. And then Friday night and Saturday, rain, a cold rain or a change to snow. We've got to monitor that closely.
All right, folks, we want to keep you safe and informed. So we have the latest on coronavirus outbreak and the forecast on our morning newscast, which starts at 4:30.
And keep in mind, we have everything you need to know at KSHB.com and in our app. Good night, everybody.